Hello, my wonderful spirit guides. Today I'm going to be reacting to Lana Del Rey, Judah Smith Interlude. I have already reacted to the first 4 songs and I'll be doing all of my reactions as individual videos to... I always get this, I've got this wrong every video. I'll be doing all of my reactions to the songs of this album in individual videos, which will be part of a playlist that you can easily click through and let them run. But I'm doing it because it's easier for me to get in depth with the lyrics and it not take too much time, because I do like to get in as in depth as I can, and if I did it all in one video I'd probably be exhausted. But anyway, I'll keep this very brief. If you would like to join my Patreon, the links for that will be in the description. You can see this video uncut as well as all the others. Follow me on Instagram, like, comment, subscribe, all those things. Links are in the description. Check them out. It really helps me and the channel out massively. But anyway, let's get into it. Judah Smith Interlude. Been really liking it so far. I feel like it's been pretty tame so far. Well, of course A&W wasn't, but I haven't reacted to that one today. So far what I've reacted to on this day has been pretty chill. But let's do it. Judah Smith Interlude. Ooh, got some guitar. Ooh, enhancing in volume. I already like it. Spoken word, Judah Smith and Lana Del Rey.
It means quit lusting after your neighbor. That's a heck of a life. You get to love your children in front of you. I don't love my wife anymore. I don't love my kids anymore. I'm missing out on like they're usually my age. It's a life dominated with lust. And for too long they've been holding it on. And finally they just get weak and they say, it doesn't matter anymore.
Oh my gosh, this is emotional.
Yeah.
So, as he works deep in your heart, call out to him and say, I'm here, do it in me, man. Help me want what I got. Help me want more of my wife and more of my friends and not wish away and hope I can move.
And then playing. It's intense.
Mad, but you gotta do that. So I bring you to this verse and I'm done. Psalms chapter 8.
It's going to be really interesting to look into lyrically.
God said, check the Bible out. I don't know if it was God, but it felt like God. That means I don't have to look anywhere. I just get the verse of the day. So I get to the verse of the day. Here's the verse of the day today. Look at the splendor of your skies. Your creative genius glowing in the heavens. When I gaze, you are the fascinating artist who fashioned it all. Such wonder and workmanship above. I have to ask this question. I gotta ask this question. Compared to all this cosmic glory, why would you ever bother with puny, mortal man? I can reach another hour on infatuated. Be infatuated with Adam's son. Are you so infatuated with me?
This is deep.
You're the star reader, you're the ocean
Yeah,
maker,
yeah.
you're the whale creator. Who are you, man?
I know exactly.
And it goes on verse 5. Rated only a little lower than Elohim, which is the name of creator God. Artist God. You want to call God artist at some point tonight before you go to bed? You'll the Lord Elohim crowned by kings and queens with glory and magnificence. You've made me a partner with you. I used to think my preaching was mostly about you. I discovered my preaching is mostly about me.
Wow. Wow, okay. So gorgeous with that music in the background. Kind of a Kill Bill slight sound to the music. So, after a bit of research, I have come to find that Judah Smith might not be that great, and when I go into the lyrics of this, I actually talk very highly of them and talk about how I found his, speech to be quite interesting and true in so many parts. But I don't think this is, a great portrayal of all the things that he believes in. I know that stuff that he believes in is completely against what I believe in, such as not, he thinking
him thinking that homosexuality is wrong, basically, and abortion is wrong, and lots of other things. I definitely did not realise this. Also, maybe like Lana laughing might have not been along with him. It might have been kind of at him in certain parts. But I thought it sounded like she was enjoying it, if I'm honest. I thought she was giggling because she was enjoying herself. That's what it sounds like to me. That's how I interpreted it. Because we could say like, oh, yeah, she's laughing at him just to make ourselves feel better. But I don't know about that. It doesn't come across very clear. So what I'm about to say next about all the lyrics, I hope it isn't triggering. If you will find it triggering, just don't watch this video, because now that I know all this stuff, like, I almost felt like I shouldn't even post the video, but obviously I'm reacting to the whole album, so I've got to do it. But please know this is my reaction to the lyrics without knowing anything that he had done, or said. Like, please just know that. And now I feel very uncomfortable about this song and confused by it too. But I do hope you enjoyed the analysis, because I really put a lot of thought into it. And yeah, and like, bad people can say great things, or great people can say bad things, So yeah, interesting. Let me know what you think about all this.
Okay, so that is definitely an interlude. Obviously, it was a long interlude, but it was a spoken word piece, and Lana in it was just like reactionary in her little agreements and so on, and her laughs, like, in obviously watching this kind of moment happen as it happened. Maybe she was there in a live audience by the sounds of it. This is going to be quite difficult to decipher, but well, I got a lot of the message, but like, because it's all so poetic and also just like passionate and things with God and stuff. I'm not a very religious person, so I don't know everything. However, I think this will be all right. I don't know why I get so nervous I'm like, what if I suck at this? I don't know. It's just going to be my interpretations anyway. It doesn't have to be right. It'd be awesome to hear your interpretations too. So at the very start, he says, I don't understand what that means. And it's in quotation marks, like someone else is saying it, like he's quoting something. It means quit lusting after your neighbour. That's a heck of a life. You get to love your children in front of you. You get to love. You have to talk to somebody. I want a new life. I don't love my wife anymore. I don't love my kids anymore. Missing out on life at usually my age. Does that sound like love? Interesting. So just in this whole bit, it's like, it's very much talk about love and lust and what's love, and how it can easily be mistaken with lust can easily be mistaken with love. And there's a sort of inner battle there. That line saying missing out on life as at usually my age is interesting, meaning like missing out on things like having a wife, having kids, missing out on love that I should be having at my age. Like, most people my age have all that, especially saying I want a new life and I don't love my wife, I don't love my kids anymore. It doesn't sound like love. It feels like, because love is meant to be what, unconditional to some degree, or all-consuming, powerful, and to feel like I want a new life, I want to move on, and the love isn't really there. And then he says it's a life dominated with lust, and for too long they've been holding it up, and finally they just get weak and say it doesn't matter anymore. I feel like they've been holding it up, like these lives with the wife and the kids, they've been trying to stick in, and then they finally just get weak and they say, oh, it doesn't matter anymore. I actually can't keep up with this, because it's not love, it's lust. And like, the lust doesn't have to just be a sexual thing. It could be like a lust for life, right? Don't mean to quote Lana's song there, but I just did. But, a lust for like, oh, I should be having these things like wife and children and all that. That's what I'm meant to be doing. I desire to have those things, even if I don't really love in the process of it. Like, if it's not real love, I just want to have those things because that's what's normal in society. Something like that. And the Spirit of God says, I'll infuse you with desires for what you have and what's in front of you. So yeah, like, God is saying, like, I'll infuse you with desires for what you have and what's in front of you, being like, you know, I'll give you lust and desire for what's in front of you, but that could be dangerous. Like maybe it almost sounds like you know, like a cheating experience. I don't know, but that's what my interpretation. You know, I'll give you desire, so whatever's in front of you, you will want. Or it could maybe not cheating, maybe it could be alcohol, maybe it could be, you know, just like the sins and the pleasures of the world, and so on like that. And I've recently just finished reading the Portrait of Dorian Gray book, and that whole book is basically around aesthetic, youth, desire, sins, pleasures, and all like those things. So this is kind of interesting reading this. And also I was saying to my partner the other day, isn't it funny that like every human has vices, like in one way or another? We have vices to keep us going, and some of those things aren't so great. Some of those things are toxic. It's funny that we don't really know how to live a human existence without vices, but I guess that's just because it's all part of the human experience to have vices. But it does make you wonder why. Like, why though? We would probably be healthier if we, you know, didn't have like too many vices, if that makes sense, like the bad ones. But anyway, yeah, then he goes on to say, like, you know, how could you do this to me, man? Like talking to God, like, why would you do this? Put this desire in me to want other things, to want things that aren't in front of me, want things that I shouldn't be wanting, or, you know, don't want to be wanting. You know, help me want what I already have. Like, don't push me in a different direction, like from where I am. Help me be grateful for what I have, be appreciative of what I have. And in some weird way, I feel like Lana is obviously posting this to relate to it, but she might also be thinking of it like about, you know, some of her ex-boyfriends being like, they always wanted something more. Maybe they wanted the fame. Maybe they wanted, you know, something flashy, when she was like, why can't you look at what's in front of you and just have me and I be enough? I feel like it could also be looking at it from that angle, like she's thinking of like the men in her life thinking like this, you know? Yeah, because it's all saying like, help me want more of my wife and more of my friends, and serve the city I live in and not wish it away and hope I can move, you know? Being like, I don't want to wish it away. I wishing that I could have a different life. I want to enjoy it. Help me, God. Then he says, I want to be a man in love, not a man in lust, just bringing it all together, like really telling you what he wants. And he says, but you've got to do that. So I bring you this verse. It's like, he's saying to God, you've got to do this for me. You know, you've got to help me out here because you're the one that put this desire in me. You need to take it out of me. And then he goes, so I bring you this verse and I'm done. And it's almost comedic. Like, and then I'm done. I'm done. Okay. Like, you know, I just want to do this and then I'm finished. And he says, Psalm chapter 8. He goes, and you know where I got this verse? This is going to sound crazy to you, but I'm going to tell you the absolute truth. It's going to make me sound so superior to us all. I'm looking forward to it. Another bit of comedy there. And then he says, I woke up this morning and God said, check the Bible. Now, I don't know if it was God, but it felt like that in my head. I thought if I hadn't checked the Bible, I'm going to speak to you from the verse of the day. Oh, that's interesting. That means I don't have to do anything. I don't have to look anywhere. Just get to the verse of the day. So I get to the verse of the day, and here's the verse of today in the Bible. Look at this. It's cool. You know, he's saying like, he had God's voice basically talking to him saying, check the Bible. What he was going to do was just read the verse of the day, what he would usually do, just something, you know, verse of the day, maybe the next one that's in the Bible. Like I said, I don't know much about the Bible, but then that verse happened to be quite profound to him. And he's like, oh my gosh, like that's God talking to me right there, because this is way more profound than just any old verse of the day. This one feels like it's specifically directed at me. And dog. And that is God talking to me. I can't. Right, anyway. So I think this is the verse now, maybe? I don't know. I really don't know, because I don't know anything about the verses. But anyway, it says, look at the splendor of the skies, you creative genius glowing in the heavens. Like, that sounds like him, you know, talking to God, rather than that being part of a verse. You know, being like, I don't know, but maybe it is. I'll click it, actually. It says here, someone has wrote, this line of scripture is not included in the standard Christian Bible. Well, yeah, I didn't think it would be. But I think that's funny, like, you know, you creative genius glowing in the heavens or something. Now, like, look at you, you created all of this, the whole world and all the people in it. You are a genius, a creator. And it goes on to say more of that as well a bit later. Yeah, and then it goes on to say, you know, about the moon and the stars mounted like jewels in their setting, you know, all these beautiful, like, it is just an art piece. You know, a fascinating artist who fashioned it all. I like the way that like rolls off the tongue. I know you are the fascinating artist who fashioned it all. The way that feels is really nice. And it makes a lot of sense. He's just been like, look at you. How did you do this? You made all of this. This is the biggest creator of everything. When I look up and see such wonder and workmanship above, I have to ask this question. I've got to ask this question. Compared to all this cosmic glory, why would you ever bother with puny mortal men? Yeah, so like being very much like, you know, you created things like stars and the moon and, you know, trees and animals and oceans, all these absolutely gorgeous, powerful things in nature. But what about puny mortal men? Nothing. There's nothing special about us with our lusts and our desires and not loving what's already in front of us. You know, it's a self kind of hatred there, and a kind of like a, yeah, or like a self-deprecating moment. Of course, I'll click it too, see if anyone said anything. The Standard Christian Bible Psalm 8 reads, "What is a human being that you remember him? A son of man, mere mortal, that you look after him. You made him little less than God and crowned him with glory and honor." Okay, so that's the actual psalm, and he's like doing it in his own way, which I think is really cool. And then he goes, don't get me started. He's like really passionate when he's reading it, which is so cool. "I could preach another hour, be infatuated, totally infatuated with Adam's son." And I guess Adam's son is basically all of mankind, but the male side of mankind. It's like, you know, why are you so infatuated with men? Like, more than, I guess, I'm not mentioning women, just really mentioning men. And I guess that comes from like the patriarchal sort of world we live in. It says, "You're the star creator, you're the ocean creator, the whale creator. Who are you?" Like, and then Lana goes, "Rhino designer," probably just like quoting back, being like, "Rhino designer, that's hilarious." You know, I kind of like that. You know, you've done all these crazy things, yet you're infatuated with men. Like, what? Who are you? What? Like, who? Why would you be infatuated with us? He then says, and then it goes on to verse 5, and it says, "Yet what honour you have given to men, created only a little lower than Elohim." I have no idea what's Elohim. Is that God? Little lower than Elohim? Yeah, a name for God used frequently in the Hebrew Bible. Oh, okay, that makes sense. So yeah, he's being like, but you've given us so much more honour, you know, even though there's things much greater than us, still going off of that sort of thing, which is the name of creator God, artist to God. You want to call God an artist? At some point tonight, when you go to bed, pray, "Yo Elohim," and he'll hear, "You're the best artist ever." So I guess it's like complimenting him, you know, being like, creator God. Yeah, I guess, and that's what he's trying to say. It's like, that's what you'll hear. If you say, "Yo Elohim," he's going to hear it as, "You're the best artist ever." Okay, interesting. "And crowned like kings and queens with glory and magnificence, you have delighted. You dedicated to them mastery over all you have made." Ooh, that's a strong line there, actually. That you have dedicated man, the master, over all of what he has made. So like, he has created this thing, but he's given men basically the right to be able to do what they want with what he's been given them. That's just crazy. It's like, how can you create all these crazy things and just give it away to man? Like, to man. Yeah, literally, that's crazy. Because you've made me partner with you. Yeah, like literally, like we are like in a partner contract here. Like, you're God and you created this, but I'm doing stuff to, like, I can now manipulate those things. I can sail boats on the seas. I can, you know, climb up mountains. I can place houses on mountains. I can dig into the ground and get oil. I can do anything with all that you've given us. Therefore, we are partnered at this point. This is a really, really deep, intense little, I don't know what you want to call it, but a spoken word, what do you call it? you know, he's preaching some real strong stuff here. I used to think my preaching was mostly about you, and you're not going to like this, but I'm going to tell you the truth. I've discovered my preaching is mostly about me. And when he says me, it's not just me as an individual, he's saying me as a man, which is insane. Like, that's actually so strong. I'm really glad I actually looked into all of that because it makes so much sense. I love how it went from being like about desire and lust and stuff like that to like getting deeper and deeper and deeper, and then being like, wait a minute, like I am technically as a man in alignment with God, because look at what men have done to this world and what we've been able to change and so on and create in our own ways or manipulate or whatever. Really interesting. I'll read this little bit here as well. Much like other songs on the March 1st, Judah Smith Interlude was leaked via LANA boards in contrast to other songs. However, Judah Smith Interlude had been hid under a text to Speechbot, who told a story about its leaker. The pastor speaking is Judah Smith, who has been criticised for leaning more into the role of an influencer. Smith and his partner Chelsea own Church Home, which self-identifies as non-dimensional Christian. Well, that seems really cool. I think that sounds amazing, if I'm honest. It sounds kind of like loving and beautiful, and the way he says it all, it's what he was saying was pure truth at the end of the day. And like I said, I'm not a religious person, but I hear that and I can get behind it and understand it. What a powerful moment to put on the album. Oh my God, I'm really glad I looked into it too. Fantastic, actually. And with all the music in the background, really intensified it too. Ooh, I hope that made some sense to you and you got something new out of that. Sometimes when I'm doing this, I'm like, am I just stating the obvious or whatever? But I don't know. It's just really fun for me to get into it and then react to the lyrics too. I think there was something else I wanted to say, but I can't remember what it was anymore. I don't know. But anyway, yes, I shall see you in the next one, which will be Candy Necklace feat. John Batiste. Let's go. Bye.